Now at 6, a Southeast Kansas man is sentenced for child sex crime. We'll have details. Plus, we'll hear from a Missouri Southern official on their new adult degree completion program. And we visit Barton County, Missouri to see how wind farms are bringing power to 4 states.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The KBI says the death of a Crawford County woman is now a homicide investigation. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Crawford County deputies responded to a call Saturday morning in Arcadia. Now, a KBI release has revealed a woman discovered the body of her friend. They located 80-year-old Geneva Ham dead inside of her home. After an autopsy, officials ruled the death a homicide. Anyone with information about that homicide is asked to contact the police. A Southeast Kansas man is sentenced to prison for a child sex crime. 49-year-old David Hudnall of Coffeyville is sentenced for 1 count of attempted rape of a female child. In a hearing held last year, the victim testified that Hudnall coerced her into sex by claiming to be a Dr. Susan. Hudnall was sentenced to more than 12 years in state prison, but was credited for time already spent in prison. He still has to serve more than 9 years. Authorities in Mound Valley, Kansas today released the name of a man found dead after a weekend house fire. Labette County deputies received a call about that fire just before midnight Saturday night. They arrived to find both the Mound Valley and Altamont Rural Fire Departments putting out a fire at 110 East 6th Street. Firefighters discovered a body in one of the bedrooms. The victim has now been identified as 55-year-old Michael Frost. According to the Labette County Sheriff, Frost's body was taken for an autopsy. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Let's check in with Doug now for our first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a fantastic Tuesday for us today. Most of us getting back to work, and we've had pretty good conditions. Great weather on Labor Day as well. Got some scattered thunderstorms over the weekend, but pretty much clear skies. We look great. We're dry. We're going to stay dry as we go through the rest of the evening into the overnight hours. Any rain, you got to travel south down through Arkansas and eastern parts of Oklahoma, and that's where it's going to stay. Lower 80s in Missouri. Once you get into Oklahoma and then also on the Kansas side, you start to creep up there near 90 into lower 90s, but not much in the way of humidity, so it allows those temperatures to really vary as we go through the day. A light easterly wind kind of kicking in across the region, and this is going to give us very comfortable overnight hours. We're going to drop back through the 60s, eventually down to 64 later on tonight. We're going to look at our next chance for rain here in just a bit.
See you then. Missouri Southern is trying to help adults who are working full-time or have children to get a degree. KOAM's Yana Hautala learned how the program works and has more.
Missouri Southern expanded its programs to help adult learners through a degree completion program. It provides 8-week-long online classes, making the program more convenient for some.
A lot of them, they've hit some sort of ceiling in their own career. And now they've hit that point where a degree might help them earn a little bit extra money or make them eligible for a promotion that they're otherwise not eligible for. We have some students that are coming back and wanting to get a graduate degree or do some graduate work as well. So there's a wide variety of different students.
The program is meant for any adult who is wanting to either start college or finish their degree. Mount says several local companies are wanting to work with the program.
I think folks are really excited to be able to use some of their work experience towards college credit. That's a very big incentive for them, just to get them a little bit closer to their goal of getting a degree or in some cases a certificate.
According to a former MSSU student, a lot of people used to drop out when he was still in college. Now, he is back to finish his master's degree.
I got my degree from Missouri Southern, my bachelor's degree in business in 1973. You know, you'd have children and jobs come up, and you know, at that time, education just had to take a back seat.
For Stanley, finishing the degree is not all about getting better salary or position, but to achieve a goal that he has not had time for before.
I'm retired, so I've got plenty of time on my hands, and it's something that I've always wanted to do.
Setting a personal goal and helping them achieve it. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, really, that we don't talk about.
In Joplin, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Mount said those interested in joining the program can do so at 5 different times during the year. Some Joplin High School students today made a great big donation. Members of the high school's philanthropic society presented a check for nearly $11,000 to Foster Adopt Connect Joplin. The nonprofit helps provide services for local foster and adoptive families. The students worked on several fundraising projects over the last year to raise the money.
We're thinking about the kind of the foster kids that are in the high school that might be struggling with things that we don't really see. It's kind of like more under the surface struggle. So we were hoping that maybe by supporting this organization we could indirectly support them without trying outing them and as a foster child, because of how hard that we can only assume that is for someone.
The group will also be raising money this year for another nonprofit. Crowder College hosted a ribbon cutting today to honor Liberty Utilities and Bill Martin. The recognition is for their contributions toward the remodel of one of their former chemistry labs into an emergency medical services classroom.
You know, I hope that they truly understand that Liberty cares and that Liberty wants to play a part in communities. And the biggest thing that I hope that they take away from this is that what they do day in and day out is so appreciated.
Liberty Utilities contributed $10,000 toward that remodel. The Boots Court Motel in Carthage is getting a renovation. Original tile and hardwood floors will be in some of the rooms, along with original desks. The front building will have carports, and the neon strip will be put back after the outside work is complete. The Boots property was built in 1939 by author Arthur Boots, and the back building was built in 1946.
I'm kind of in the heyday of Route 66 when people started traveling an interstate highway and needed places to stay. So that was kind of how the Boots started. It was a gas station first and then became the motel, and just grew from there.
The motel has 13 rooms, 4 double beds, 9 queen beds. The renovations are still ongoing, and they're looking at Maple Leaf Festival weekend for completion. Coming up, we're going to look at how wind farms bring residents power in Barton County, Missouri, plus how an area woman uses art as a way to spread her love.
Shelter insurance.
Power comes to us in several different ways. We've been exploring how we get electricity here in the 4 states, and tonight we're heading sky high. KOAM's Chris Warner looks at how wind power is bringing power to the people.
The rural landscape of southwest Missouri and southeast Kansas is now dotted with wind turbines soaring 400 feet into the sky. Liberty Utilities has 3 wind farms that generate electricity. Individually, each turbine's not that powerful. Liberty's Senior Manager of Strategic Projects, Sean Rooney, says together they bring the power.
Each one of these turbines is between 2 and 2.2 megawatts, so relatively small generator, but you get to a site like this where we have 69 turbines, that's about 150 total megawatts.
Every bit of power generated still goes a long way to lighting your home.
Yeah, if you assume that 1 megawatt generator can power 400 homes, that means each one of these turbines could power approximately 800 homes, just a little bit more than that.
Like a large power plant, failure is possible in a wind turbine. Rooney says the loss of one turbine isn't that big of a deal. Even if an entire farm went down, Liberty has alternative generation sources. The blades on these turbines are massive, measuring more than 100 feet in length. Rooney says there's a good reason for their size.
Wind speeds can be drastically different a few hundred feet up in the air than they are at ground level, so there's not a motor in there. We're not turning them. We're not using electricity to make them turn. There's just more wind at 400 feet than there is at ground level.
Rooney says there are still other advances to be made, such as battery reserves for when the wind isn't blowing. But even then, he believes the future of wind power is bright.
Renewable energy is just growing by leaps and bounds, and I just really don't see any end for it in the future. Add on to that the fact that it operates without fuel, so this is electricity that comes at zero fuel cost. That's just a big win for everyone.
In Barton County, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Officials with Liberty say there are 277 total turbines in our area, generating around 600 megawatts of power at full capacity. Tomorrow night, as we wrap up our energy series, we're going to learn about the Southwest Power Pool and the role it plays in managing energy from the Gulf Coast to the Canadian border. An area woman is spreading her love of art in the community through a free workshop. Patricia Glick teaches painting classes at the Art Form Gallery in Pittsburgh. She uses a variety of methods and media, including watercolor and acrylics. Glick wants to make sure people in Pittsburgh know the classes are open to everyone. Glick's classes are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. Again, they are free at the Art Form Gallery in Pittsburgh. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Pitt State football team as they prepare to take on the Nebraska Kearney Lopers.
Plus, temperature is pretty good as we go through the next few days. What about rain chances? We'll look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be another nice day for us today. Some scattered thunderstorms over the weekend, hit and miss, but Labor Day actually turned out to be a fantastic day and pretty much clear skies for us right now. We have a few random little cumulus clouds out there, but traffic moving well. This is Interstate 44 east and westbound, of course, Lander Chevrolet on the southeast side of the city. Looking pretty good, and we're going to see pretty good conditions as we go through the rest of the evening hours for us tonight. All right, no rain for us today for the month. We're only a few days in, 3/10 of an inch with those scattered showers and thunderstorms, but we are still 1 3/4 of an inch above average for the entire year. We still have some drought situations just because it was so dry over the summer. Look at our temps, mainly into lower 80s in Missouri. Then once you get into southeastern Kansas, almost about a 10-degree spread. 94 in Neodesha, 92 in Chanute. Yates Center is sitting at about 90 degrees. Very light easterly wind is kicking in, and it's going to be kind of an east-northeasterly wind over the next couple days, but that's actually just going to give us really comfortable conditions, kind of ushering in a little bit cooler air. Looks good, 7th and range line, 84, relative humidity at 49%. So our daytime highs are going to be pretty consistent the next few days. In fact, we'll actually step it up a little bit, but our overnight lows are going to go down a little bit. So it looks good. We'll drop back through the 80s, 60s, eventually 64. Later on tonight, we have clear skies across the entire four-state area. So there's not much going on here. Some showers, some thunderstorms once you get across southern plains. But look at this big dome of high pressure. And the winds are clockwise around it, so we get a little bit more of a Canadian air mass instead of a kind of more tropical from the Gulf of Mexico. So this is going to give us great weather as we go through the rest of the work week. Let's go through time. We'll stop here at about midnight. Looks good, clear skies, upper 60s. By morning, sitting into the middle 60s. As we go through the morning hours, we warm up right around 80, 81 by the time we hit the noon hour. And then I think most of us, a carbon copy of what we saw today. Mid-80s in Missouri, low, maybe some mid-90s once you get into our western counties. Here's your day planner. Starting at 64, 81 by noon, high temp of 86. Northerly winds are going to be light at about 5 to 10. Any outdoor activities tomorrow evening look good as well. But look at our temps. By Thursday morning, near 60 for a low. Thursday afternoon, plenty of sunshine again as we creep up into the upper 80s for afternoon highs. But let's go ahead and look down the road just a little bit. We'll go through Wednesday into Thursday, still that big dome of high pressure. But look at some tropical moisture starting to lift a little bit farther north as we head into the weekend, giving us at least some chances for showers and thunderstorms. Until then, we will stay dry. 86 tomorrow, 89 on Thursday, 92 on Friday, so it does get a little bit hotter, 93 Saturday. If we get some thunderstorms, it looks late in the day into Sunday morning, cooling us back down with a cold front shifting through.
Cold front.
Well,
I like that
a little
term.
bit chillier front.
Cold front
Yeah.
sounds good, though. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, the Joplin Eagles played their COC softball league opener against Carthage. And the Pitt State Gorillas prepare to hit the road to face a top 15 opponent Thursday night. Jacob Leonard has that and more coming up.
This week is a big week for the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. The Gorillas hit the road on Thursday night to face 11th ranked Nebraska Kearney in week 2. And both of these teams are 1-0 to begin the season. Pitt State beat Central Missouri 21-10 last week in their opener, while UNK got by Missouri Southern 24-7. Now this Lopers team, kind of hard to stop offensively. They got reigning MIAA Offensive Player of the Year and quarterback TJ Davis. They led the MIAA in rushing last year and led the league in time of possession. For the Gorillas, their best defense this week may just be keeping the ball away from the Lopers offense.
You would certainly like to win the time of possession against those guys and keep the ball away from them. I think it's just more about efficiency on offense, whether it's taking shots or not. It's being efficient, moving the ball, and scoring points at the end of those drives.
Their defense is always good, big up front, and then they got some size in the secondary as well. So hopefully we can keep the passing game alive like we did and just start to execute the running game as well.
We're going to try to do whatever the defense gives us. If that's a few more runs, then it's a few more runs. If it's a few more throws, then we'll be okay with that. Again, it's moving the football and scoring points at the end.
The Joplin Eagles are off to a hot start this softball season. The Eagles are 10-2 in their first 12 games. This afternoon, Joplin hits the field for their COC League opener, hosting the Carthage Tigers. Now, this one was a pitcher's duel early. Jill McDaniel in the circle for Joplin, strikeout there in the first. And the second, a couple more strikeouts from McDaniel. Scoreless going to the bottom of the second. Now in that bottom of the second, Ashlyn Jackson doing her thing too. A pair of strikeouts of her own. The sixth inning ended up being the difference. Joplin gets 4 in the sixth. They win today 4-1. The Eagles 11-2 now, and they've won 5 straight games. In other COC softball action tonight, a little rivalry game here with Carl Junction hosting Webb City. That one actually still going. Webb City holding on to a 3-2 lead in the top of the 6th. The St. Louis Cardinals have 27 games left in the regular season. Coming into the day, the Cards are 79-56 overall, 7.5 games clear of the Brewers for first place in the NL Central. Tonight, the Cards on the field for Game 2 of their 4-game series with the Nationals. Washington won Game 1 last night 6-0. Tonight's game begins in about 20 minutes. We'll have the latest from the game right here tonight at 10. I will also have the latest from this one. The Royals host Game 2 of their series with the Guardians tonight. Kansas City aims for its 3rd win in the last 4 games. First pitch for that one is scheduled for 7:10. So now, a huge one for the Gorillas coming up on Thursday night. I know they want this one. Carney's beat them the last 2 times, including in the Gorillas home opener last year. Can't wait for this one.
It's going to be a good early test for the Gorillas. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Amos Cross served in the U.S. Army from 1944 to 1946. His hometown, Anderson, Missouri, and we're proud to salute Private First Class Amos Cross, a 4-state hero. Of course, you can learn about lots of other heroes from all across the area, no doubt some from your own hometown. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. We invite you to do so. Just go to our website, click on the link, KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to check out a nursing program open house as demand for the position increases. Plus, Missouri Southern hosts an event to let students try cuisine from Czechia. And we're going to hear from the new Crawford County Health Director about how she's settling into the role. Those stories and a lot more coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The temperature in the days ahead, not too bad, Doc.
No, it actually looks pretty good. We're going to have comfortable overnight lows, mainly low to mid 60s. We are going to slowly heat up as we get through the week, up to 92 Friday, 93 Saturday, and some thunderstorm chances right around the middle of the weekend.
Final sports notes.
We'll hear from the Gorilla offense on facing the UNK defense tonight at 10. We can go flip. We're going to flip that around. We're going to hear from the Gorilla defense on facing the UNK offense. We'll hear from former Carl Junction product Zeke Wall.
Gorilla's defense looked really good in Game 1. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.